Hi.
How are you?
Alone.
Why? What's going on?
I'm in Tacoma, Washington. I don't actually know anybody here.
Well, what are you doing there?
My dad was gonna help me, and don't get me wrong, he definitely did. I have a Jeep, and it's better than nothing, but between him listening to me and me getting a Jeep that's temporary, I would have rather had him listen.
Yeah, I understand that.
That money pretty well just went to waste.
So, did he say you couldn't stay with him anymore?
Yeah, we had a pretty big argument about him not listening. Um, He's got it in his head that he's absolutely right and I'm absolutely wrong, and it's always been that way.
Well, when people are set in their ways, they refuse to listen.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the other thing. I'm not afraid of my dad physically abusing me, but he likes to bully. He's always done so. And although he's been physically abusive in the past, he had a heart surgery, so he's not into getting physically violent anymore, thank goodness.
Well, that's really good. How old is he?
59, I think.
Oh, wow, so he's not that old.
Not really.
What about your mom? And where's she?
I believe she's in Idaho or Iowa. I don't know which. She might
Has
be
she
in
tried to reach
Nebraska.
out to you?
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. No, after Natalie died, my mom called the cops down there to see what was going on. Apparently, even though the cops wouldn't say on the news that I had been cleared, they told my mom that I was cleared. And she told my dad that I was cleared, and as a result, both of them ignored me. Then I went to my grandma's funeral. I was supposed to take my brother, who didn't bother to tell me he had a ride, didn't bother to get back to me at all. Went to my grandma's funeral. My mom didn't cry, but she was very pissed off that I showed up. So,
That's ridiculous. That was your grandmother, too.
yeah. She also, I don't know, my mom's got, when you talk about mentally ill, like, I think about my mother. I do.
That's who I think about, too, my mother, because she's got her issues, too.
Well, I always think of the word or the term mentally ill as an insult. But then when I look at the description of it and I take a look at my mom, I'm like, God, this is the most manipulative person I have ever known my entire life.
Yeah, my parents, they're the type of people where they both are mentally ill, but at the same time, they don't believe in mental illness. They don't believe that it's real. And it drives me crazy because I'm bipolar. And it's so hard to get them to accept that and understand it.
You know what I like about the fact that you said bipolar? Is that you were specific. You said bipolar. You know what I don't like about the way you said bipolar? You put it in the mentally ill category. See, the reason I'm against the term, well, it is, but the thing is that the term mentally ill, as it is used by the law, basically says that anybody who is considered mentally ill, they're supposed to treat like he's schizophrenic or she is schizophrenic and violent, and that's not okay. Like, if you're bipolar, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be allowed to make a statement. If somebody who's bipolar is raped, it doesn't mean that they weren't raped. It just means nobody wants to listen to them.
You're right. I was raped before, and they definitely don't take you seriously.
A lot of people have been telling me that. I also grew up in the system with a lot of little girls that were cutters. I know why they do the things that they do because I grew up with them. And trying to get people the education, I mean, I'm finding other people's stuff to try to show what's going on, because when I say it, people look at me like I'm stupid, like I'm hallucinating, like I'm on drugs, or like I'm faking it. You know?
Oh, wow. It sucks when people don't understand you. Like, Nobody really understands me, especially when I'm in some of my manic phases. That people just think I'm being a bitch or I'm being crazy, and that I can control it, and they don't understand how difficult it is.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff brings me back to traumatic moments too. Like, in Virginia, before my birthday, every single experience that I'd ever had with Natalie and her sister was pleasant. I didn't have any unpleasant ones. There was a few situations there where I was afraid for them, but no unpleasant ones, A few of them where I felt unpleasant, but they weren't unpleasant towards me, and I wasn't unpleasant towards them. What happened on my birthday with her mom finding her heroin, like that wasn't my doing.
Natalie?
Yeah. That had nothing to
wow.
do with me. That was literally the last time I saw Natalie, on my birthday in Virginia in 2016.
So what were the lies that her and Alicia and everybody were spreading about you?
Well, in Virginia, they had said that I had stalked them there, when that wasn't the case. We had originally planned for all four of us, me, her, Maddie Boa, and Alicia, since Natalie was moving to Virginia and Alicia was moving to Virginia. We all planned to go out there, and me and Maddie were gonna drive there and see them, but Maddie was on probation because she got busted with methamphetamines, so she couldn't go.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I ended up, and I had thought about not going because it was, I was broke, and I was broken too, like physically. But I was really late getting there, and it was just a really fucked up situation. Like, because I was so late getting there, she told me, basically that if I'm not already on the road, that she's going to kill herself. And I said, you know what? I don't have the money to go now, but as soon as I do, I'll be on my way. And she was probably thinking I'll do so months out. And I didn't mean it like that, I meant, it might take a couple of weeks for me to get there, but I'll eventually make it. And I had a support network set up for when I went, but then it all went to hell. Once I got there, everything was great. They were wonderful. Um, Natalie's leg was all shattered to shit. She had tried to kill herself within 6 hours of making that call while I was in Nebraska. So when she tried to kill herself,
oh my god,
yeah. So when she tried to kill herself, I really fucking freaked out, and I did my best to, get my support network going. And Amy and Andrew Witcher was supposed to be helping me with getting a job there, and Mahalia was going to hook me up with the art scene in Richmond, and I was going to go see my friend Moose. And I mean, I set it up so that I wouldn't be dependent on just those two young ladies. But at the same time, like, the original reason I was going to make the trip is just to go visit. And I had a rescue fund that I had set up so that if she needed a rescue, that she could be rescued. And she had a lot of family pressure.
yeah.
I don't even
What's the
remember
deal with
what your
her dad?
question was. Well, in 2016, he molested her, and he also, when I met her down on Pearl Street, he had her and her sister selling drugs down there on Pearl Street. Well, more specifically at the library in Boulder, Colorado. They were 13 or 14 at the time. Do what?
I said, how could he do that to his own daughters? Didn't you say he molested them too?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know for a fact whether or not he molested Alicia. I never asked. The rumors that they started in Virginia is that I stalked them there, when really she made me feel like if I didn't go, she was going to kill herself. And then she tried to kill herself. What was I going to do? This is somebody who had rescued me from killing myself. And they said that I stalked them. And then when they said that I stalked them, they called up Maddie, the girl who was supposed to go with me but was on probation for methamphetamines, and they told her that I had threatened their family, which I didn't. They claimed that I threatened their family. They may have felt threatened, but I wasn't intending to threaten them at any point in time. And so
You
Maddie...
don't even seem like that type of person.
Well, it got to the point where I was. I literally, after 2 years after that, last August, I threatened the people who had threatened my life. I threatened them back. The people who threatened my friends' lives and my family's lives.
You have a right to do that if they did it first.
Well, that doesn't matter because they wouldn't document that these people did it first. The police across the board were completely anti-doing so, except for in Chapel, Nebraska. I got the officers there to take a look at it because a lady named Molly went in with me. But see, Maddie Bowe, I knew these young women from Boulder, Colorado. So when I went to see them in Virginia and it fucking went to hell over her mother finding her drugs, I left. And it wasn't just her mother finding her drugs. It was also me getting stuck in the street. And it was also the amount of fucking shitty men that Natalie had been in vehicles with in just a short period of time. Because she got into 3 other accidents within that month, you know? There were 4 accidents total. And, like, her mother didn't...
Wow.
Right. So, I mean, her mother is understandably already on edge, you know? She's already freaked out about the boys in Natalie's life. I understood completely. That's why I offered to leave if they felt like that. And the things that I was afraid would happen...
Her mom had a bunch of guys in and out?
She did when she was younger.
Oh.
In Virginia, you know, she's trying to be a mother. She's going to work every day. She's working for a construction place. I mean, Rose really was trying to fucking turn her life around. She was doing fucking badass, and that's not a joke, you know? I mean, I'm fucking super proud of how she was doing there, but that's neither here or there. I mean, you know, the mean things that I still have to say to Rose are because she could have done something. I was being accused of things I didn't do. She could have asked Alicia and Natalie, you know? To this day, Alicia is the only one that I had access to rape or molest in Virginia, you know? And I haven't had access to either one of them other than in Virginia. And the only time that I had access to do that was when Alicia would get a hold of me on her lunch break or her tobacco break and ask me to come out and talk to her, you know? And we talked. Me and Alicia had a lot of one-on-one time, but Natalie was really sad because she wasn't getting any one-on-one time with me, and she was dependent on her sister to show. Every time that Natalie tried to speak, Alicia spoke up over her, you know, and Natalie just, I could see on her face how much it hurt her. She wanted to speak.
Yeah, I feel her pain because I go through the same thing. My parents have never really been much of a parent.
Well, her mom was really trying. The original question you asked, I know I get long-winded, but when I got back to Boulder, Maddie had told all of her customers that I threatened some little girl in Virginia and I had stalked some little girl in Virginia. And then it adapted into I had raped or molested some little girl in Virginia, and I was getting assaulted over that.
That's ridiculous.
I want to say that the first assault didn't happen until March or April, but I looked back at my timeline, and it turned out, yeah, I got assaulted the first time back in January. January of 2017.
And the police didn't do anything about it, did they?
The police don't do anything about it when you're homeless no matter what. You have to have somebody go in with you, and that's why it's important to have someone in person.
People express abuse symptoms. Everybody is unique, so there may be other signals I haven't listed, or in the case of